Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
The following is a class given by His Holiness Jayapataka Swami Maharaj on June 5th, 2016 in Atlanta, Georgia, USA. The Srimad Bhagavatam class was about Panihati Pastimes.
In this way, Raghunath Das passed 1 year exactly like a first-class business manager. But the next year, he again decided to leave home. He got up alone one night and left, but his father caught him in a distant place and brought him back. This became almost a daily affair. Raghunath would run away from home, and his father would again bring him back. Then Raghunath Das's mother began speaking to his father. "Our son has become mad," she said. "Just keep him by binding him with ropes." His father, being very unhappy, replied to her as follows: "Raghunath Das, our son, has opulences like Indra, the heavenly king, and his wife is as beautiful as an angel. Yet all this could not tie him down. How then can we keep this boy home by binding him with ropes? It is not possible, even for one's father, to nullify the reactions of one's past activities." Then Raghunath Das considered something in his mind, and the next day he went to Nityananda Goswami. In the village of Panihati, Raghunath Das obtained an interview with Nityananda Prabhu, who was accompanied by many kirtan performers, servants, and others. Sitting on a rock under a tree on the bank of the Ganges, Lord Nityananda seemed as effulgent as hundreds and thousands of rising suns. Many devotees sat on the ground surrounding him. Seeing the influence of Nityananda Prabhu, Raghunath Das was astonished. Raghunath Das offered his obeisances by falling prostrate at a distant place. And the servant of Nityananda Prabhu pointed out, "There is Raghunath Das offering you obeisances." Hearing this, Nityananda Prabhu said, "You are a thief. Now you have come to see me? Come here. Today I shall punish you."
Bengali.
Or Bengali? I'm not good. Shunni Prabhu kahe chorat dile darshan, I ajitor kalimu dhandana.
So, Raghunath Das, have you been attained the interview with Lord Chaitanya?
Raghunath Das, had he attained the interview with Lord Chaitanya?
Lord Chaitanya told him,
But Lord Chaitanya told him,
don't be a market vairagya.
don't be a Marakata Vairagya.
Don't try to renounce everything suddenly.
Don't try to renounce everything suddenly.
Stay in your family, act as a pound, shilling, pence man.
Stay with your family, act as a pound, shilling, pence man,
Keep your heart always on Lord Chaitanya and on Lord Krishna.
but keep your heart always on Lord Krishna.
In this way,
In this way,
do your duties.
do your duties.
Just like, say, a wife had another lover than a husband,
Just like, say a wife had another lover than the husband,
but she would be very careful to not be discovered.
but she would be very careful not to be discovered.
Like that, you should keep your mind on Krishna.
Like that, you should keep your mind on Krishna,
But everyone will think that you're very much absorbed in your material activities.
but everyone will think that you're very much absorbed in your material activities.
Like this, Lord Chaitanya sent him back.
Like this, Lord Chaitanya sent him back.
So for 1 year,
So for 1 year,
he acted like that.
he acted like that.
That's given in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, what happened in that 1 year.
And what happened in that 1 year is given in the Chaitanya Charitamrita.
Then he started to run away again.
And then he started to run away again.
And then he came to see Lord Nityananda.
And then he came to see Lord Nityananda.
And Nityananda said, "You're a thief, you're a thief.
And Nityananda said, "You're a thief, you're a thief.
Today I'm going to punish you."
Today I'm going to punish you."
And his punishment was
And his punishment was
putting his lotus feet on his head.
putting his lotus feet on his head.
And he gave him the punishment.
And he gave him the punishment.
"You have to feed me and my associates Shiradoi."
You have to feed me and my associates chiradoi.
That's flat rice and yogurt
That's flat rice and yogurt
and fruits
and fruits
and condensed milk and flat rice
and condensed milk and flat rice
and fruits.
and fruits.
So Raghunath Das's father,
So Raghunath Das's father,
he had to pay like 12 million gold coins a year
he had to pay 12 million gold coins a year
tax,
and
he managed to cheat on the tax
he managed to cheat on the tax
and make 300,000 gold coins extra.
and make 300,000 gold coins extra.
But if you pay that much tax,
But if you pay that much tax,
you can imagine how much money you have.
you can imagine how much money you have in the first place.
So he was fabulously rich.
So he was fabulously rich.
And for him to give a breakfast of flat rice and yogurt,
And for him to give a breakfast of flat rice and yogurt,
it's no issue.
it's no issue.
He was very happy
He was very happy
to receive this punishment.
to receive this punishment.
Well, there's this pastime
So this pastime,
is, one can wonder, well, why does Lord Nityananda call it punishment?
one can wonder, why does Lord Nityananda call this a punishment?
Why does he say you are a thief?
Why does he say you're a thief?
See, Raghunath Das,
Raghunath Das,
he tried to achieve Lord Chaitanya.
he tried to achieve Lord Chaitanya.
Even he went personally and saw Lord Chaitanya,
Even he went personally and saw Lord Chaitanya,
but he was sent back.
but he was sent back.
Because if you want to go to Lord Chaitanya, we have to go through Lord Nityananda.
Because if you want to go to Lord Chaitanya, you have to go through Lord Nityananda.
And now the way the reason Lord Nityananda is still his dear representative, the Guru Parampara.
And Lord Nityananda's representative is the dear Guru Parampara.
So this pastime is famous
So this pastime is famous
because Raghunath Das, when he sent his servants
because Raghunath Das sent his servants
to scour the neighboring villages
to the neighboring villages
and get all the fruits and flat rice, yogurt available.
to get all the fruits, flat rice, and yogurt available.
So the news came out, was going out.
So the news was going out.
So merchants were coming with their bullock carts, ox carts,
Some merchants were coming with their bullock carts, their ox carts,
filled with clay pots, yogurt,
filled with clay pots, yogurt, fruits,
and flat rice.
and flat rice.
And then the word came out,
And then the word came out
Raghunath Das giving this breakfast feast,
that Raghunath Das is giving this breakfast feast.
which that time was already approaching late morning and noon.
At that time, it was already approaching late morning, noon.
People started running,
People started running,
not because they're hungry,
not because they're hungry,
because Brahmanas, Vaishnavas, they loved feast.
but because Brahmins, Vaishnavas, they loved feasts.
I love parties.
They love parties.
This is a kind of a spiritual party.
And this is that kind of a spiritual party.
Everybody showed up.
So everybody showed up.
And then even the merchants who are coming to sell their things,
And then even the merchants who were coming to sell their things,
they're given 2 pots.
they were given 2 pots.
1 yogurt, 1 condensed milk.
1 yogurt, 1 condensed milk.
Told to sit down.
Told to sit down, feast.
So, Lord Nityananda, he put a plate down for Lord Chaitanya,
So Lord Nityananda put a plate down for Lord Chaitanya,
asana,
an asana.
and using his mystic power,
And using his mystic power,
he brought Lord Chaitanya there.
he brought Lord Chaitanya there.
No one could see him except Lord Nityananda and a few very elevated associates.
But no one could see him except Lord Nityananda and a few very elevated associates.
And so, very big clay pots.
And very big clay pots.
I mean, big,
I mean big,
like 6 feet.
like 6 feet.
They use these to store rice
They used these to store rice
in those days
in those days
because the rats and other rodents could not enter.
because the rats and other rodents could not enter.
So they had mixed. They used that huge pots
So they had mixed and they used those huge pots
to mix.
to mix.
So they had different flavors.
So they had different flavors.
One Nityananda, they offered 7 flavors.
Lord Nityananda, they offered 7 flavors.
And general people, they offered 2 flavors.
And for general people, they offered 2 flavors.
One yogurt, one with condensed milk.
One with yogurt, one with condensed milk.
This year we're offering 50 flavors
This year, we're offering 50 flavors
for the 50th anniversary of ISKCON.
for the 50th anniversary of ISKCON.
I made out these menus yesterday
We made out the menus yesterday
and the day before.
and the day before.
And last night,
But last night,
I doubt that maybe the quantities were too much.
I had a doubt that maybe the quantities were too much for each flavor.
So I had them to make a prototype.
So I had them make a prototype,
And I found out that the quantities for each flavor was more.
and they found out that the quantities for each flavor was more.
All the same,
Total same,
but since there's more pots,
but since there are more pots,
each flavor was more.
each flavor was more.
Anyway, this is the ecstasy of making the pots.
Anyway, this is the ecstasy of making the pots.
So, Raghunath Das, while he was having his service mix and offered the prasadam,
So Raghunath Das, while he was having his service of mixing and offering the prasadam,
his servants,
his servants,
people started to gather,
people started to gather,
and the whole field got filled up.
and the whole field got filled up.
In fact, there was no more room.
In fact, there was no more room.
People started to stand in the muddy banks of the Ganges.
So people started to stand in the muddy banks of the Ganges.
In fact, even that became filled.
In fact, even that became filled.
We began to stand in the Ganges itself,
Then they began to stand in the Ganges itself,
and the water was coming up to their ankles.
and the water was coming up to their ankles.
And then there was no room.
But then there was no room.
So people started standing in the Ganges up to their knees.
So people started standing in the Ganges up to their knees.
The place became packed with people.
The place became packed with people.
Lord Nityananda, he said, this is Bible convoy, and These are my cowherd friends.
Then Lord Nityananda said, I'm a cowherd boy, and these are my cowherd friends.
We're all taking our midday snack
And we're all taking our midday snack
here in the forest.
here in the forest.
One was up.
One bozat.
So it's a picnic,
It's a picnic,
as you say in the West.
as you say in the West.
But then he walked through the crowd with Lord Chaitanya.
Then he walked through the crowd with Lord Chaitanya.
Everybody was chanting, Haribol!
Everyone
Haribol! 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 If you wanted more, you should say Haribol!
If you wanted more, you would say Haribol.
If you had enough, Haribol!
If you had enough, you'd say Haribol.
Everyone was chanting, Haribol!
Haribol.
Lord Chaitanya took from one pot,
Lord Nityananda took from one pot
fed to Lord Chaitanya.
and fed to Lord Chaitanya.
People see the rice rise in the air and disappear.
People will see the chip rice rise in the air and then disappear.
Lord Chaitanya take from someone else's pot,
And Lord Chaitanya would take from someone else's pot
and then Lord Nityananda's mouth.
and put it in Lord Nityananda's mouth.
Thus, just like kids,
And just like kids
but share each other's lunch,
who would share each other's lunch,
don't care about sushi or
they wouldn't care about shuchi,
cleanliness, just
cleanliness,
share each other's.
just share each other's.
Like that, all the people accepted us, hard hands of Lord Chaitanya and Lord Nityananda.
Like that, all of them were accepted as cowherd friends of Lord Chaitanya and Lord Nityananda.
Who of you would like to be present during that special occasion? So, that Rahul Pandit came out.
In fact, Raghav Pandit came out.
He looked around and said, oh,
He looked around and said, oh,
what's happening here?
what's happening here?
He said, your lunch is ready.
He said, your lunch is ready.
Rice, dal, sabji.
Rice, dal, sabjis.
I'm taking a picnic here.
Lord Nityananda said, I'm taking a picnic here.
And just sit down, I'll take lunch. I'll take dinner today. I don't take lunch.
Just sit down. I'll take dinner today.
And sit down and have yogurt.
Sit down and have chira and yogurt.
So, like this,
So like this,
there was unlimited happiness.
unlimited happiness.
And in this song,
And in the song,
which was sung with Adivas of this festival,
which was sung at the Adhivas of this festival,
I don't think there was time to explain what the song meant.
I don't think there was time to explain what the song meant.
The 2 lines.
There are 2 lines.
When this 2 lines are chanted in Bengal,
When these 2 lines are chanted in Bengal,
because everybody knows what they mean.
because everybody knows what they mean,
All the ladies do the Uludwani,
all the ladies do the Uludhani,
and the men go Haribol, Haribol.
and the men go Haribol, Haribol.
Ananda Simanai.
Anandir Shimanai.
There's no limit to the bliss.
There's no limit to the bliss.
No limit.
No limit.
Ananda Simanai.
Anandir Shimanai.
Ananda Simanai.
Anandir Shimanai.
Nirananda Duri Jai.
Nirananda Duri Jai.
Nirananda means unhappiness.
Nirananda means unhappiness.
It goes far away.
It goes far away.
Nirananda Duri Jai.
Nirananda Duri Jai.
So, Ananda Simanai means no limit, no boundary.
Anandir Shimanai means no limit, no boundary.
So, someone walking by last night,
So someone was walking by last night.
he'd been practicing yoga for some years.
He'd been practicing yoga for some years.
And he said, wow, these people are really happy.
And he said, wow, these people are really happy.
And he came in,
And he came in.
and he came into my residence also, you know where I'm staying,
He came into a residence also, didn't know where he was staying,
where I am staying.
where I'm staying.
And he got a cookie with everybody else.
And he got a cookie with everybody else.
And he got a Bhagavad Gita.
And he got a Bhagavad Gita.
Apparently his sister in another city, the same day he got a signs of self-realization.
Apparently his sister in some other city got a science of self-realization.
Same day.
In the same day.
It's the same day.
So, there's Adidas Kirtan,
So in this Adhibas Kirtan,
these two lines.
there are these two lines.
Ananda Sivanai,
Anandir Shimanai,
no limit to the spiritual bliss.
no limit to the spiritual bliss.
And Nirananda Durdijari,
Nirananda Durejaya,
unhappiness goes far away.
unhappiness goes far away.
So everybody is written to be unhappy.
So everybody is forbidden to be unhappy.
Have to be happy.
You have to be happy.
So anyway,
So anyway,
that festival, we read about it in the Chaitanya Charitamrita.
so that festival, we read about it in the Chaitanya Charitamrita.
Around in the 70s sometime,
In the 70s sometime,
Prabhupada came here.
Prabhupada came here.
And he called this place as New Panihati Dham.
And he called this place as New Panihati Dham.
Around the same time, I don't know, I didn't analyze the dates.
Around the same time, I don't know, I didn't analyze the dates.
Maybe there's a connection.
Maybe there's a connection.
Prabhupada, he was offered the Panihati tree where Lord Nityananda sat under.
Prabhupada was offered the Panihati tree where Lord Nityananda sat under
by one member of the Legislative Assembly of the state.
by one member of the Legislative Assembly of the state.
At that time, the Congress Party was in charge of the state.
At that time, the Congress Party was in charge of the state.
So Prabhupada went there and inspected it.
So Prabhupada went there and inspected it.
Told us, we should build a temple with columns,
Told us we should build a temple with columns
so that the temple would be up off the ground.
so that the temple would be up off the ground.
People could still access freely the tree of Lord Nityananda.
People could still access freely the tree of Lord Nityananda.
It's a banyan tree that's there since over 500 years.
It's a banyan tree that's there since over 500 years.
Then he went to see Raghav Pandit's house.
Then he went to see Raghav Pandit's house.
It was old and dilapidated.
It was old and dilapidated.
But he said, well, if they build a new one, they should take a picture of this
But he said if they build a new one, they should take a picture of this
to show that this is the original and ancient place.
to show that this is the original and ancient place.
And someone was walking around when Brahmana came out and offered him a Shaligram Shila,
So when Brahman came out and offered us his Shaligram Shila,
offered Prabhupada.
offered Prabhupada,
And that was the first Shaligram of Mayapur.
that was the first Shaligram of Mayapur
And the first of his son.
and the first of ISKCON
So at Panihati.
at Panihati.
So then he showed the Pujari how to decorate the Shaligram, how to draw a face on them.
So then he showed the Pujari how to decorate the Shaligram, how to draw a face on him.
And since then, now Shaligram Shilas are used in different temples around the world.
And since then, now Shaligram Shilas are used in different temples around the world.
In Mayapur we have over around 200.
In Mayapur, we have around 200.
One Nrsimhadev has a necklace of 108,
Lord Nrsimhadev has a necklace of 108,
and there are other various Shaligrams.
and there are other various Shaligrams
in the different temples.
in the different temples.
So Prabhupada said we should also have a road service
So Prabhupada said we should also have a boat service
from Calcutta to Mayapur.
from Kolkata to Mayapur
Stop in Panihati for Chiradai breakfast.
and stop in Panihati for Chiradoi breakfast.
That's a flat rice, yogurt, fruits breakfast.
That's flat rice, yogurt, fruits breakfast.
So finally, after so many years,
So finally, after so many years,
we already paid the down payment and getting the boat built.
we've already paid down the payment and got the boat built.
Being built.
It's being built.
So we'll have such a service.
So we'll have such a service.
And you can also avail of it when it's ready.
And you can also avail of it once it's ready.
I've gone many times with the Ganga safari up and down the Ganges.
I've gone many times with the Ganga safari up and down the Ganges.
It's very beautiful.
It's very beautiful.
It's so beautiful.
It's so beautiful.
And those who visit India on the roadside see all the tea stalls and tire repair shops.
And those who visit India on the roadside see the tea stalls and tire repair shops.
Not so attractive.
It's not so attractive.
But this Ganges path
But this Ganges path,
is incredible.
it's incredible.
It's like time hasn't changed.
It's like time hasn't changed.
Cows are grazing in the fields.
The cows are grazing in the fields,
Trees, orchards,
trees, orchards, temples,
palatial buildings.
palatial buildings.
There's in Murshidabad, there's the Acharya door, there's a palace of some king, oh, it's 1,000 doors, all the same.
In Murshidabad, there's a palace with 1,000 doors, all the same.
Anyway,
But anyway,
so this Panihati
so this Panihati
is a dham.
is a dham.
And Lord Nityananda came there,
When Lord Nityananda came there,
sent by Lord Chaitanya to go back,
sent by Lord Chaitanya to go back from Jagannath Puri
to preach in Bengal.
to preach in Bengal.
Then the first stop was Panihati.
Then the first stop was Panihati.
And they had a big kirtan,
And they had a big kirtan,
and that kirtan went on for 3 months non-stop.
and that kirtan went on for 3 months non-stop.
That was such an ecstatic kirtan
That was such an ecstatic kirtan
that people, tens of thousands of people just came and got lost in the kirtan.
that tens of thousands of people just came and got lost in the kirtan.
After 3 days, they realized that they had a house,
After 3 days, they realized they had a house.
home.
They had to go home.
And the devotees were doing kirtan.
And the devotees were doing kirtan.
They started displaying superhuman mystical powers.
They started displaying superhuman mystical powers.
Some started floating in the air,
Some started floating in the air,
jumping from one tree to the next.
jumping from one tree to the next.
Some people lifted up trees
Some people lifted up trees
from the roots,
from the roots,
started dancing with them.
started dancing with them.
One picked up a 60-foot long bamboo with one end
One picked up a 60-foot long bamboo from one end
and played it like a flute.
and played it like a flute.
To lift up one bamboo
To lift up one bamboo
by the end,
by the end,
so the weight becomes so great.
the weight becomes so great.
Usually you have 2 people carrying.
Usually you would have 2 people carrying,
He was dancing one.
but he was dancing with one.
Radha Pandit told Lord Nityananda,
And Raghav Pandit told Lord Nityananda
They're tearing up my garden, they're tearing up my house.
They're tearing up my garden, they're tearing up my house.
There's nothing left.
There'll be nothing left.
So, I think the kirtan's gone a little bit too wild.
I think the kirtan has become a little bit too wild.
And then Lord Nityananda started going over Bengal.
So then Lord Nityananda started going all over Bengal.
Wherever he went,
Wherever he went,
people became just overwhelmed by the kirtan.
the people became just overwhelmed by the kirtan.
So like this, he flooded the whole Bengal
So like this, he flooded the whole Bengal
with kirtan,
with kirtan,
which started at Panihati.
which started at Panihati.
So, this is the place of kirtan
So this is the place of kirtan
also.
also.
Kirtan and picnics
Kirtan and picnics
and festivals.
and festivals.
So, then after Prabhupada visited the place, so we wanted to observe the Panihati festival.
So after Prabhupada visited the place, we wanted to observe the Panihati festival.
So we had our boat, the Nitai Padakama,
So we had our boat, the Nitai Padakamala,
which Prabhupada had firstly stood on and on the arch to the Nitai Gaur deities.
which Prabhupada had personally stood on and did arati to the Nitai Gaur deities.
So then we came with a boat on the day of Panihati festival.
So then we came with the boat on the day of Panihati festival.
Here in America, they have the first week of June.
Here in America, they have it in the first week of June.
There, it's by lunar calendar, so it shifts a little bit.
There it's by lunar calendar, so it shifts a little bit,
But it's more or less in June.
but it's more or less in June.
This year will probably be later in June.
This year, probably it'll be later in June,
The exact date.
the exact date.
So when I came with the Nitai Gaur deities,
So when I came with the Nitai Gaur deities,
and there were already thousands of people that gathered,
and there were already thousands of people gathered,
and by the tree of Lord Nityananda, they're all Brahmins sitting.
by the tree of Lord Nityananda, there were all Brahmins sitting.
They're offering the people's flat rice and yogurt
They were offering people's flat rice and yogurt
and giving some dakshin.
and getting some dakshina.
They weren't so happy with us appearing there with Nitai Gaur.
So they weren't too happy with us appearing there with Nitai Gaur.
But the general people were very happy.
But the general people were very happy.
And one started singing a ballad.
And one started singing a ballad.
Nitai Gaur Panihati Asachay Asachay Nitai Gaur Panihati Asachay Nitai Gaur have come to Panihati again.
Nitai Gaur have come to Panihati again.
Nitai Gaur
Nitai Gaur,
have come again.
Nitai Gaur H.H.J. means have come again.
And so he started dancing, and his group were dancing.
And so he started dancing and his group was dancing.
And they came from Mayur with a truck
And they came from Mayapur with a truck
filled with chipped rice, yogurt, mangoes.
filled with chipped rice, yogurt, mangoes.
And they wanted to drive right into the tree.
They wanted to drive right into the tree.
But the police stopped them like half a kilometer away.
But the police stopped them half a kilometer away.
Are you crazy?
Are you crazy?
Look at the crowd.
Look at the crowd.
Can't go in there.
You can't go in there.
The truck.
The truck.
So then, how do we get all the chira to Nitai Gaur?
So then, how do we get all the chira to Nitai Gaur?
All these ingredients.
All these ingredients.
Then a black cloud came over.
Then a black cloud came over
And it started raining.
and it started raining.
All the people went off the road
And all the people went off the road
to seek shelter from the rain.
to seek shelter from the rain.
So we loaded up on our backs
So we loaded up on our backs
bags of chips, rice, yogurt,
bags of chipped rice and yogurt,
bags of mangoes,
bags of mangoes,
and half the truck we took by running.
And half the truck we took by running.
And we got to the tree.
And we got to the tree.
And so then it stopped raining.
And so then it stopped raining.
All
All the people
back on the road.
back on the road.
Then we went back to the truck.
So then we went back to the truck.
And then we needed to unload the rest of the truck.
And we had to unload the rest of the truck.
Then the black clouds came again.
And then the black clouds came again.
It started raining.
It started raining.
Went off the road.
People went off the road.
We ran with the children.
We ran with the chiradoi
Mangoes.
and mangoes,
Or
yogurt.
got to the tree.
Got to the tree.
By this time it became muddy.
By this time it became muddy.
Stopped raining.
Stopped raining.
The same ballad singer starts. He sings something and they're rolling in the mud.
The same ballad he started singing and they started rolling in the mud.
It's not like anyone ever dies this festival.
It's not like anyone ever dies in this festival. Dies in this festival.
Advertising.
Advertises this festival.
It's just there in the calendar.
It's there on the calendar
This day is the Panihati day.
that this day is the Panihati day.
But there's no other advertisement.
But there's no other advertisement.
Now ISKCON goes there, we just do.
ISKCON goes there and we distribute.
But before, no organization was doing it.
But before, no organization was doing it.
But hundreds of thousands of people gather.
But hundreds of thousands of people gather.
And then whoever would offer some children to Lord Nityananda,
And whoever would offer Chiradoi to Lord Nityananda,
they would also give out to some people.
they would also give out to some people.
Like a spontaneous distribution of prasadam.
So like a spontaneous distribution of prasadam.
So we do that when some people have booked big pot.
So we do that, and some people have booked a big pot.
And it's not possible to eat a big pot.
It's not possible to eat a big pot.
So they distribute.
So they distribute.
And that's the Panihati tradition.
And that's the Panihati tradition,
To go around and distribute also.
to go around and distribute also.
So you get some from the temple,
We get some from the temple,
and then the devotees go around and distribute.
and then the devotees go around and distribute.
This year, because we're having 50 favors,
This year, because we're having 50 flavors,
we asked Jai Govardhan to give us some of his mostly,
we asked Jai Govardhan to give us some of his muesli,
specifically unoffered,
specifically unoffered,
which will mix in 10 of the 50 preparations.
which will mix in 10 of the 50 preparations.
It'll be a surprise.
It'll be a surprise.
So, all this is going on.
While this is going on,
And we started getting organized.
and we start getting organized,
That's the first year, when this, I learned how to make teardrop pots, clay pots.
the first year I learned how to make Chiradoi.
I learned before at Haridaspur.
Before I learned at Haridaspur how to make Panihati pots, clay pots.
That's called, so then we made those and offered to the Lord at his banyan tree.
So then we made those and offered to the Lord at his banyan tree.
But how to distribute?
But how to distribute?
One clay pot.
We had one clay pot
And hundreds of thousands of people.
and hundreds of thousands of people.
I mean, I don't know if you've ever seen 100,000 people.
I don't know if you've ever seen 100,000 people.
I mean, you've seen it like football stadiums or
I mean, you've seen at football stadiums or
that many people, like packed.
like that many people packed.
all coming on the ground.
all coming on the ground.
So this one devotee was going out in the crowd,
So this one devotee was going out in the crowd
the little container,
with a little container,
and it disappeared.
and it disappeared.
Everybody died on it.
Everybody dived on him.
And he disappeared.
He disappeared.
Crawled out beneath someone's legs,
He crawled down beneath someone's legs,
and he came out
and he came out
with an empty pot.
with an empty pot.
This is not the way to do it.
So this is not the way to do it.
Anyway, that thing is going on.
Anyway, that thing is going on.
Meanwhile, Prabhupada came here.
Meanwhile, Prabhupada came here.
He sang the Paramakaruna song.
He sang the Parama Karuna song.
And you hear at the Lila Smarn, some amazing pastimes Prabhupada had while he was here.
And you'll hear at the Lila Smaran some amazing pastimes Prabhupada had when he was here.
He actually was crying for the Gordon deities.
He actually was crying before the Gaur Nitai deities.
And he called this place as a new Panihati Dham.
And he called this place as New Panihati Dham.
So I came here
So I came here
after Prabhupada left,
after Prabhupada left,
and I became an Indian citizen.
and I became an Indian citizen.
So then someone sponsored my around the world ticket.
So then someone sponsored my around the world ticket.
And now we have introduced all kinds of rules.
Now they've introduced all kinds of rules.
16 segments.
16 segments.
At that time they had no rules.
But at that time they had no rules.
I don't have 30, 40 segments.
I would have 30, 40 segments.
Big tickets.
Big tickets.
I'd walk in,
I'd walk in
change the ticket someplace,
to change the ticket at some place.
and the ticket agent started crying.
And the ticket agent started crying.
Please, don't go here.
Please don't come here.
I don't know how to do it.
I don't know how to do it.
That's another story.
That's another story.
But I came here,
But I came here
and they told me that this place is no Panihati Dham.
and they told me this place is New Panihati Dham.
I've been with Prabhupada twice to Panihati.
I'd been with Prabhupada twice to Panihati.
I've been 6-7 times for the festival.
I'd been there 6-7 times for the festival.
And so then I said, well, to observe a Chiradai festival here.
So then I said, well, do you observe a Chiradoi festival here? No, we don't.
I don't know about that.
We don't know about that.
And so then I said, well, I explained how it's observed in India.
And so then I explained how it's observed in India.
And since we offered 7 varieties to Lord Nityananda,
And since they offered 7 varieties to Lord Nityananda,
and we're in America,
and we're in America,
we have fruits from all over the world.
we have fruits from all over the world.
So
So
we offered 18,
we offered 18,
18, right? No,
18.
no, 18. So then 6 yogurt, 6 condensed milk, and 6 salads.
So 6 yogurt, 6 condensed milk, and 6 salads.
Since the Western devotees like salads so
Since
much.
the Western devotees like salads so much.
So these are our standard flavors.
So these were our standard flavors.
And we gave us special names each one.
And we gave spiritual names to each one.
And the salad flavors, we had different devotees make different salads.
The salad flavors, we had different devotees make different salads.
The Mexican salad was made by some Mexican devotee.
The Mexican salad was made by a Mexican devotee.
The rice salad was made by one of our devotees here.
The Murari Sevak was made by one of our devotees here.
And the New Orleans Cajun.
And the New Orleans Cajun.
Padma-Devi.
Mother Padma.
Like that, Govardhan makes the Italian salad.
Like that, Govardhan Lila makes the Italian salad.
And North Indian and South Indian.
We have North Indian and South Indian.
This year we added 4 more.
This year we added 4 more.
So we have 10 salads.
So we have 10 salads,
20 condensed milk,
20 condensed milk,
and 20 yogurt.
and 20 yogurt.
50 for 50th anniversary.
50 for the 50th anniversary.
I hope everybody helped with cutting the fruits and things.
I hope everybody helped with cutting the fruits and things.
So, Lord Chaitanya Nityananda
So Lord Chaitanya and Nityananda
have been extending their pastimes here.
have been expanding their pastimes here.
You see now Rath Yatra, Lila Smaran, so many things.
We see now Rath Yatra, Leela Smaran, so many things.
Now we have the Adivas
Now we have the Odhibas
on Friday night.
on Friday night.
So yesterday Balabhadra was supposed to come and give class,
Yesterday Balabhadra was supposed to come and give class,
but I think he's here today, right?
He's here today. You gave class? You gave Sikhi Mahiti and Guru Vandana. Gokula Ranjana.
And anyway, back to the Chaitanya Charitamrita.
Anyway, back to the Chaitanya Charitamrita.
After this feast,
After this feast,
Raghunath Das asked Lord Nityananda
Raghunath Das asked Lord Nityananda
for his mercy
for his mercy
that I want to join Lord Chaitanya.
that I want to join Lord Chaitanya.
I want to be part of his pastimes.
I want to be part of his pastimes.
So, without your mercy, it's not possible.
So without your mercy, it's not possible.
So please give me a mercy that I can achieve his lotus feet.
So please give me your mercy that I can achieve his lotus feet.
So the Lord Nityananda told him to go back.
So Lord Nityananda told him to go back
Said that it will happen.
and said that it will happen.
And Raghunath Das, he went back home.
So Raghunath Das, he went back home.
And then after some days, his guru
And then after some days, his guru
took him out and told him go back and his son said to go back to your house.
took him out and gave him some instructions to go back to his house.
But then
But then
he realized that
he realized that
there were no cars,
there were no cars,
no guards,
no guards,
no assistants.
no assistants.
He was free.
He was free.
He could go.
He could go.
So he went running home.
So he went running
to
to Jagannath Puri.
But he would always be caught. He went on the main path. This time, he went in a circular route.
He would always be caught because he went on the main path, but this time he went on a circular route.
And he stayed in different people's cow sheds and just
He stayed in different people's cow sheds.
finally got to Jagannath Puri
And finally he got to Jagannath Puri
without eating,
without eating.
and then he surrendered at the lotus feet of Lord Chaitanya.
And then he surrendered unto the lotus feet of Lord Chaitanya.
So we could talk a lot about Raghunath Das.
So we can talk a lot about Raghunath Das.
He was one of the 6 Goswamis,
He was one of the 6 Goswamis.
although he was from a super rich family.
Although he was from a super rich family,
He lived most simply,
he lived most simply.
and in the end, he was at first he was getting money from his father and feeding people.
At first he was getting money from his father and feeding people.
He realized that it's not good,
Then he realized it's not good.
so then he would just beg and get his meals.
So then he would just beg and get his meals.
And then he thought that's not good either.
But then he thought that's not good either.
So then the rice that was thrown in the drain
The rice that was thrown in the drain
that had rotten on the outside,
that had rotten on the outside,
even the animals wouldn't eat it.
usually the animals wouldn't eat it.
He'd break it open,
He'd break it open,
take the good part in the
Take-
center,
take the good part in the center,
eat that.
and eat that.
And he was so austere
He was so austere
beyond anybody's ability to copy.
beyond anybody's ability to copy.
And Lord Chaitanya became very affectionate towards him.
Lord Chaitanya became very affectionate towards him.
And so he was later sent to Vrindavan,
Anyway, he was later sent to Vrindavan,
and he joined with the other 5 Goswamis to be one of the 6 Goswamis.
and he joined with the other 5 Goswamis to be one of the 6 Goswamis.
So we're observing the festival when he's still rich.
So we're observing the festival when he's still rich.
And we hope all the devotees will assist Raghunath Das in his punishment.
And we hope that all the devotees will assist Raghunath Das in his punishment.
And the result of the punishment,
And the result of the punishment,
get the mercy of Lord Nitai Gaur.
you get the mercy of Lord Nitai Gaur. Hare
Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Are there any questions?
Maharaj, you want to speak a little something about the 50th anniversary?
Oh, for the anniversary. Prabhupada was very concerned
Prabhupada was very concerned
that after he left,
that after he left,
ISKCON would just stay together.
the ISKCON would stay together.
And in his presence,
And in his presence,
he formed the GBC,
he formed the GBC.
and he was the first chairman of the GBC.
And he was the first chairman of the GBC.
In 3 or 4 years,
Then about 3 or 4 years,
the GBC would meet and present him the results,
the GBC would meet and present him the results.
and he would sign it.
Then he would sign it.
Like this, he was training the GBC,
Like this, he was training the GBC.
and he said after Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur
But he said, after Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur left,
his disciples fought.
his disciples fought.
They had a GBC for like 8 years, and then they gave it up.
They had a GBC for about 8 years and then they gave it up.
So disciples said it's more dynamic to have one acharya.
Some disciples said it's more dynamic to have one acharya.
And he orders everybody, do this, do that.
And he orders everybody to do this, do that.
Like when Bhakti Siddhanta was present.
Like when Bhakti Siddhanta was present.
You can't just rubber stamp somebody acharya.
But you can't just rubber stamp somebody to be acharya.
So they appointed a senior devotee,
So they appointed a senior devotee
be the acharya.
to be the acharya.
Later on, he, make a long story short, he had some problem with his regular principles.
To make a long story short, he had some problem with his regulative principles.
And so as a result, the whole Gaudiya Math
So as a result, the whole Gaudiya Math
stood up.
split up.
And the Prabhupada was worried that this did not happen in Islam.
So Prabhupada was worried that this not happen in ISKCON.
In the Chaitanya Charitamrita Adilila, chapter 12,
In the Chaitanya Charitamrita Adi Leela, chapter 12,
he touches on this topic.
he touches on this topic.
Many times I've been approached
Many times I've been approached
that we should edit out this 12 chapters.
that we should edit out this 12th chapter
I remember the Gaudiya Math.
by members of the Gaudiya Math.
How can we do that?
But how can we do that?
Prabhupada wrote it
Prabhupada wrote it
very extensively
very extensively
because he didn't want us
because he didn't want us
to do the same thing.
to do the same thing.
The Gaudiya Math was selling all lands and
The Gaudiya Math was selling off lands.
I reached Mayapur, they were selling their ponds rights to fish.
When I reached Mayapur, they were selling their ponds rice to fish. Ponds rice to fish.
Ponds rights.
Ponds rights.
That means that fishermen
Yeah.
would pay them rent.
That means fishermen would pay them rent,
And they could take all the fish.
and they could take all the fish.
And that's against our principle.
That's against our principles.
They've fallen so low.
They had fallen so low.
I don't speak more. I don't think they're doing that anymore.
I don't think they're doing that anymore.
So, Prabhupada said, well, if you at least maintain whatever I've done,
Prabhupada said that if you can at least maintain whatever I've done,
he had made 108 temples.
he had made 108 temples.
He said, if you're going to expand it, very nice.
But if you're going to expand it, very nice.
But at least maintain.
But at least maintain.
Don't sell off the properties.
Don't sell off the properties.
Because this is what happens after some charismatic leader comes and distributes the spiritual process.
This is what happens when some charismatic leader comes and distributes the spiritual process.
He has many followers.
He has many followers.
And then after he leaves,
And then after he leaves,
the institution falls apart.
the institution falls apart.
People start to sell the properties.
People start to sell the properties.
So by Prabhupada's mercy, by Krishna's mercy,
So by Prabhupada's mercy, by Krishna's mercy,
we have followed Prabhupada's mandate
we have followed Prabhupada's mandate
that we work under the GBC.
that we work under the GBC.
Sometimes it's austere.
Sometimes it's austere.
Maybe we have a different idea.
Maybe we have a different idea.
But Prabhupada said that he was confident that the GBCs collectively would not decide something off.
But Prabhupada said that he was confident that the GBCs collectively would not decide something off.
I usually I think they're pretty right on.
I usually think they're pretty right on.
Sometimes a bit slow, conservative.
Sometimes they're a bit slow, conservative,
That's okay.
but that's alright.
But this is what Prabhupada asked us to do.
This is what Prabhupada asked us to do.
So achieving 50 years
So achieving 50 years
is significant milestone.
is a significant milestone.
But now we're concerned with the succession.
But now we're concerned with the succession.
As Prabhupada decided, we don't know how long we'll be on the planet.
Us Prabhupada disciples, we don't know how long we'll be on the planet.
So we look to you,
And so we look to you,
the next generation.
the next generation,
Second, third, fourth.
second, third, fourth.
Keep up the institution, keep up the instructions that Prabhupada gave us.
To keep up the institution, to keep up the instructions that Prabhupada gave us.
And Kali will try to create some diversion.
Kali will try to create some diversion.
This was predicted in Puranas and ancient books of Lord Chaitanya.
This was predicted in Puranas, in ancient books of Lord Chaitanya.
Someone would come and distribute Krishna consciousness, Harinam all over the world.
That someone would come and distribute Krishna consciousness, Harinam, all over the world.
And usher in a golden age
And usher in a golden age
of 10,000 years.
of 10,000 years.
And the whole world will start chanting the holy names.
When the whole world will start chanting the holy
At
names.
least in every part of the world.
At least in every part of the world they'll chant.
And it'll be very easy to go back to Godhead.
And it will be very easy to go back to Godhead.
But after this 10,000 years over,
But after these 10,000 years are over,
it becomes very hellish Kali Yuga.
it becomes very hellish Kali Yuga.
So we're still in the beginning of the golden age.
So we're still in the beginning of the golden age.
Hasn't really, we're just like got a foothold.
We've just got a foothold.
Now, there's a need to spread the message more very efficiently,
Now there's a need to spread the message very efficiently,
to stay united.
to stay united.
And that's up to all of you.
That's up to all of you.
So while we're here, we're trying to let you understand
While we're here, we're trying to let you understand
how much Prabhupada loved everybody.
how much Prabhupada loved everybody.
He took so much austerity to give this message all over the world.
He took so much austerity to give this message all over the world.
He was heart attacks,
He had heart attacks,
strokes,
strokes.
he was paralyzed from the neck down.
He was paralyzed from the neck down.
But still his head worked, so he was instructing
But still his head worked and he was instructing
how to practice, how to spread
how to practice, how to spread
Krishna consciousness.
Krishna consciousness.
So much austerity he took.
So much austerity he took
to give us the mercy of Lord Chaitanya Nityananda.
to give us the mercy of Lord Chaitanya Nityananda.
So we've been trying to keep that alive.
So we've been trying to keep that alive.
And for the most part, it seems that ISKCON has been multiplying.
For the most part, it seems that ISKCON has been multiplying.
Now I have like 600 plus branches.
Now we have 600 plus branches,
Thousands and thousands of small groups.
thousands and thousands of small groups,
Namhats, Bhakti Vrikshas,
Namhattas, Bhakti Vrikshas,
counselor groups.
counselor groups.
So ISKCON has been expanding.
So ISKCON has been expanding.
But we hope that the next generation will also keep up this enthusiasm.
But we hope that the next generation will also keep up this enthusiasm.
Maybe even expand on it.
Maybe even expand on it.
And finish the work of establishing the golden age.
And finish the work of establishing the golden age.
So this is very important.
So this is very important.
Still, you get association with so many Prabhupada disciples.
Still, you can get association with so many Prabhupada disciples.
Right now in Mayapur, there are no more disciples of Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur alive.
But now, in Mayapur, there are no more disciples of Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur alive.
Maybe some old man, some village, I don't know.
Maybe some old men in some village, I don't know.
But all the sannyasis, all gone.
But all the sannyasis, they're all gone.
And I don't know. When we try to establish the Saraswat Gaudiya Vaishnava Association,
When we tried to establish the Saraswat Gaudiya Vaishnava Association,
Prabhupada told to establish to unite the Saraswati family.
Prabhupada told us to unite the Saraswati family.
So some of the few existing disciples of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur,
Some of the few existing disciples of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur,
they came and they blessed us. They said, please do this.
they came and they blessed us. They said, please do this.
So a few of us had this experience.
So a few of us had this experience.
So many godbrothers are still in their 60s, are still young, probably.
So many godbrothers are in their 60s. They're still young, relatively.
But every year, like I was at the Prabhupada Festival in Los Angeles, and
Like every year, I was in the Prabhupada Festival in Los Angeles.
What's his name?
Rameshwar?
No,
Huh?
Siddhanta Prabhu. Siddhanta Prabhu.
Siddhanta. He showed a video of all the God brothers and God sisters, Prabhupada disciples, who left this year.
Siddhanta Prabhu showed a video of all the God brothers and God sisters who left this year.
And then some of the ones from previous years, like Sridhar Maharaj and Tamal Krishna Maharaj.
And then some of the ones from previous years, like Sridhar Maharaj, Tamal Krishna Maharaj.
Can't get their association to get back to Prabhupada.
Can't get their association to get back to Prabhupada.
Until we get
back to Prabhupada.
So, take advantage. Today we have the Leela Smaran.
So take advantage. Today we'll have the Leela Smaran.
How great Prabhupada is.
How great Prabhupada is.
And how you should, the heritage, keep the heritage.
And how you should keep the heritage.
You see, he's very concerned on how you should have succession, you should have. So that's why they started this GBC college.
The GBC is very concerned how to have the succession, so that's why they started this GBC college.
Having zonal supervisors.
They're having zonal supervisors.
Under the GBC, there'll be hundreds and something zonal supervisors.
So that under the GBC, there'll be 100-something zonal supervisors.
So then some of them will be elevated to GBC men.
So then some of them will be elevated to be GBC men.
So this way, train up the younger people to be zonal supervisors to get some experience.
So in this way, train up the younger people to be zonal supervisors, get some experience.
Men, women, and also keep up the Harinam, keep up the practice and spreading.
And also keep up the Harinam, keep up the practice of spreading.
So it's 50 years doesn't seem like.
So 50 years doesn't seem like it.
Went very fast.
Went very fast.
So the next 50 from now,
So the next 50 from now,
He'll be all old people.
You'll be all old people.
You'll be preaching like this to the young, I hope.
You're preaching like this to the young, I hope.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama,